Happy Halloween. Something that I've been wanting to share with you all is that every year I hold an annual horror movie marathon. Tonight, we're starting with 2005's The Amityville Horror. So we just finished the movie. It's been quite a few years since I've seen it. Um, my takeaways are I really do like Ryan. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds really shined in this film. Not only did he, showcase his humor every now and again, he sold the dread. For instance, his pupils throughout the movie, you could start to see that they go bloodshot red. And his happy-go-lucky or comedic attitude starts to slightly change into something more hardened. And again, Ryan Reynolds is a pretty good actor. He sells it. You guys have any thoughts?
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
I was 15 when that movie came out.
This is the first time I've ever seen this movie.
Oh, all right. So first time he's seen it, and again, he hasn't seen it in a while, just like me. But yes, those are the pros. Some of the things that I could do without: the constant quick cuts. This movie is heavily stylized, and it reminds me of what you would typically get in the 90s. It has it all over. The quick flashbacks, the quick jump scares, the screeching music that's pouring in as you get a quick cut. Wasn't a huge fan, but again, considering the times, it's to be expected. Overall, I did still enjoy myself. Next on our list tonight is 2013's Evil Dead.
It's on now?
We're getting ready to start watching the next movie for tonight. Here we go. All right, so I just finished the Evil Dead 2013. And I've seen it before. I really like this one. What I really enjoyed about it is the fact that they use a lot of practical effects. Nowadays,
There's
a lot
not.
of what?
Nowadays they don't really utilize it at all. It's mostly like CGI and really bad CGI at that.
I agree. As you can see now, Tamara's joining me. This is my girlfriend. My buddy Keith, he already left for tonight. And my buddy Michael here, he's sleeping now.
They don't care about horror movies like that.
But we're going to keep it going. And but yeah, this movie, yeah, I really enjoyed it. The body horror is really good. They use it in moderation. It doesn't turn into like a gore fest. They carefully woven it into the script. It's used in a very, how would I say, delicate manner. It goes well with the story. It's a good flow. But yeah, great remake.
I would say the only thing though is that, and forgive me if I say his name completely wrong, Shiloh Fernandez, I think is his name. Him is like the main like character. I don't know. He's not that charismatic. He's kind of like, your typical run of the mill main character. Like there's really nothing special about him
Mm-hmm.
versus you know who and like the original.
Yeah.
And I know you can't really compare original characters with new coming characters. Try really hard not to do that, but I can't help but compare. So that's like my one main gripe with it is that yeah, he doesn't really give too much to the story. Maybe that was the point. I don't know.
But those are immediate thoughts, and we're going to move on to the next movie. All right. Next on the agenda, 2003's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All right. Now here we are moving on to our next film. Well, I just finished Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this is one of my favorites, especially when it comes to remakes. What I really liked about the film was the portrayal of the characters. When it comes to the group of kids who wander into the town, standouts were our character Aaron, um, Morgan, and Andy. You also had Pepper and Kemper. I really enjoyed how much story they put into the characters. There was definitely character development, and they made us feel for the people we were supposed to be following throughout the movie. You have your character like Kemper, who, as you can see, was having a bit of problems with his girlfriend throughout the movie, and a little bickering back and forth. But you could see that he was definitely a good guy. There was a scenario where she was wondering if he was going to ever propose, and eventually in the movie you find out he did get a ring. Then there was some depth to your character Andy. In the middle of the movie, you find out that he definitely is a good friend. He refuses to leave without another character or finding that other character. So he's very faithful. You have your character Morgan, who I thought sold dread pretty well. The fear in his face in a few scenarios were pretty impressive and believable. Then you had your character Pepper, who seemed like a bit of the oddball out, especially considering that based on what they were saying in the story, she was new to the group. Then you have your character Erin, played by Jessica Biel, who was the standout in this movie. You cared for her motivations, and I was definitely on her side all the way through. Then you had your character, the sheriff, played by R. Lee Ermey. He was hilarious. He brought that, that special spice that you typically see in other movies that he's played in, and he was a hoot. Then when it comes to Leatherface, he was menacing. The makeup design was on point. I really enjoyed what they did and how they made him terrifying. Overall, this is a well done movie. All right, the next film for tonight, 2006, The Hills Have Eyes, unrated. Well, working my way on to the next movie, and as you can see, I'm the only one left that's up and ready to watch another one. So here we go. So I just finished the movie, and that one is another one of my favorites. Hills Have Eyes, 2006, keeps you on the edge of your seat. I would throw that in like horror slash action, high octane moments. I really liked how they showed a character progression with the character Doug. He came a long way from where he started to how he finished. Also, I really enjoyed the two kids, Brenda and her brother Bobby. They really were good at improvising. And what they were able to accomplish in the movie, it kind of reminded me of something you would see in Home Alone. And the dad, Big Bob, he was a delight. Once again, another one of my favorites. Good movie. I'm still trugging along. Our next film for tonight is 2005's House of Wax. Moving right along to our next film. All right, just finished House of Wax. That film was just a good time. It wasn't one of my favorites when I was coming up, but I still do enjoy it, and I'm glad to have it in the collection. Some of the characters that stood out for me were Nick, Carly, and Wade. It was a delight to see Jared Padalecki and Chad Michael Murray in a 2005 movie. Funny enough, this was, I think, one of the first things that I've seen them both in before I even touched shows like Supernatural and One Tree Hill. So that was really cool to see. I really enjoyed the bond between the brother and sister in the movie. That their motivations kept me invested. But other than that, good, just a good time. Your thoughts? But there you go for House of Wax. On my last film of the night, 2007's Halloween. All right, jumping into my last film for my movie night. Here we go. All right, just finished 2000. Shucks, I forgot the year. I think it's 2007.
Wow.
All right, just finished 2007's Halloween. I know that it kind of gets a bad rep because it's very far removed from John Carpenter's original vision of the character. But the way that I look at it, you always have the originals. And this here is done by who I assume is a fan of an existing franchise and is given the rights to give his own spin or take on something that he loves. And I enjoyed it. It was very visceral. It was way more grisly in like the way that Michael moved. And not a lot of people like to explore what makes Michael Myers the Shape. And here, Rob Zombie tinkers with that. You get to peer into the origins of Michael Myers as a young boy and what leads to him becoming that psychopath. Another thing that stood out for me was the score. It felt way more intensified. It had a very sharp and aggressive tone. I really enjoyed seeing someone else's rendition of a pre-existing franchise. It was a really unique take. Alright everyone, this concludes my annual Halloween horror movie night. If you haven't already guessed, the theme was remakes. I really hope that you enjoyed the discussion. Thanks for tuning in, and if you like this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. You have a good one.